Hello, third graders. I'm going to talk to you in a little more detail about how to make the house flap for your paper-based project. If you're doing a Google Slides, this information may also help you. All right, so let's tune in. All right, so here's my sample lap book project. You can see my cover. This week, due next Tuesday, the day after Dr. King Day, we have the house flap. It's going to go on the left side, this whole left flap of your lap book, so that everybody's housing parts will go in the same area. So your house goes up here, and then the description goes on the bottom. Okay, so to construct this, you're gonna need page 3 of the stapled packet I sent home if you were in school before, if you were in school last week. Or you can find this in the Native American project materials on Google Classroom. It's posted under paper-based materials, and you can print this out. So you just follow the directions here. So it says on the arched flap book above, draw the outside of the house on the 2 closed flaps, and then use a color to add a background. Open the flaps and draw the inside of the house, color and label items found inside the house, and then glue on the back and place the top on the top left section. Okay, so if you can imagine, this is the inside here. These are, so this, you're looking at it like this, okay? So it may help you. In fact, I would recommend cutting this whole thing out first on the solid line, folding on the dotted line, and then that part you fold over is the outside. So see, you're looking at it like this, but you need to color this outside part first. In the back, you can see you glue down so it doesn't fly out of your lap book. Okay, so that will take you a while, and then the inside you actually do last before you glue it on. And then you can see there's also a description section, and this is where you're going to write the answers to your research questions that we discussed in class. Okay, so the next thing that's going to help you is your notes organizer. Again, you should have this packet if you are in school. If you were not, you can print it out under the project materials. It's called Notes Organizer. Here's the first page that was all about the cover. We're going to be on the back of the first page. We're going to be on this section here, number 2, traditional houses. Okay, and these are the questions you need to answer. What materials were houses made of? How were houses adapted to the climate, and how did the climate affect how houses were built? And why were houses and villages located in this place? In other words, why did your tribe choose the area that they are located in? Why did they choose that place? And then you need to be able to draw the traditional house on the house flap I just showed you, what it looked like inside and out. So the challenge with this housing part is that you're not going to necessarily find answers to all of these questions. And I know that sounds a little crazy, right? So why would I ask you the questions? Because you're going to kind of bait, especially for number 2 and 3. Okay, so number 1, let's back up a little. Number 1 is very straightforward. What materials were the houses made of? I'm even going to tell you where to go to find this. If you go to your tribe research page and you scroll down till you see pictures of traditional houses, you will see I cut and pasted some information from Native American Facts for Kids, which is a website at the top of everyone's tribe research page, and it tells you literally what the houses were made of. Okay, so if you can't find that, just go to the website Native American Facts for Kids and search for your tribe, and they have a housing section for each tribe. Okay, so here's what my tribe's houses were made of traditionally: palmetto leaves, sticks, and sometimes plaster. So you can see I drew that the best I could. And I decided to make my house at night. Okay, the time of day you choose is up to you. Whether you want to take up the whole flap is up to you. You can be creative, as long as it shows your best drawing of a house from your tribe. Okay, now the second and third question are what we call inferential questions. So basically that's where you take what you've learned in your research and draw a conclusion. So in other words, how were the houses adapted to the climate, and how did the climate affect how the houses were built? In other words, I need to think, why did my tribe, the Atakapa Ishak people, why did they choose palmetto leaves, sticks, and plaster to use for their homes? Why didn't they use other resources? I need to think about that a little bit. Why is there only one opening? So, And then what I came up with is, and then taking my knowledge of Louisiana's geography and climate, and also seeing where my tribe is located, putting all of these ideas together, I can come up with this idea. The houses were kept cool and dry in a hot, wet climate. In fact, I'm giving you all permission to basically write the same thing in your own words, because it is pretty safe to say that all of Louisiana, especially the southern part, is hot and wet. Now, I know Choctaw people, you're located a little further north. You're still plenty hot and wet up there, okay? So if your climate is hot and wet and you're making your own house, you need to keep it cool and dry, especially if you don't have access to comforts like air conditioning and fans like we have today. So to keep their homes cool and dry, they did not include windows, because windows let in the heat, windows let in the sun, and the strong palmetto leaves kept the rain out. Okay, so it kept the homes dry. So I want you to think like this. How did they keep my home cool and dry? Okay, how do they, not my home, how do they keep their homes traditionally cool and dry because Louisiana is hot and wet? That will help you with this question. Then this last one, you need to think about where your tribe is located and why they chose that place. They could have lived anywhere, right? Reasonably speaking. So they chose where they are located for a reason. My tribe, located in southwest Louisiana. This is the Texas border right here in the Gulf of Mexico. I know by looking at other maps and my knowledge of geography that this is very close. It borders the Gulf of Mexico and the Sabine River, and that would have made for fishing and easy travel. So again, I know these two answers based on the research and my background knowledge of geography and Native American history. Okay, so again, those are two challenging questions. You're not going to find these answers directly in any of the sources. You're going to kind of take everything you've learned and come to your own conclusion. If you're really struggling with this, we're going to talk about it more in class on Friday. Okay, so this whole section is due Tuesday. Okay, so you have a while to work on this. My advice, if you're struggling with this research part, go ahead and work on your art here, because there's lots of images you can find on your tribe research docs to start drawing this and putting it together. If you want to label some things inside the home, like mine, to be honest, I could have added more detail. I need to color in the woman's clothes, for example. Like if I wanted to label and write fire for cooking or blanket for sleeping, I could, okay? So again, more detail is fine. I kind of showed you the basics here to get you started. All right, I hope that helped. If you have any other questions, send me an email or we can chat in class on Friday. All right, good luck. See you soon. Bye.